Hello and welcome to episode 114 of Ready to Mosh. I'm Kev P, and alongside me is the spark to my mind sweep, it's Gem G.
Hello, that's topical as always.
Try to be.
I'm trying to think, when's this going out? Monday? Yeah, so it's Shikari week.
It
when
will
this
be
goes
going out
out.
in Shikari week, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be our first gig of the year.
Oh, exciting time.
Yeah. Finally get to see them after probably the last time we saw them.
We saw
Rock
them
City
at
performance, wasn't it?
Yeah, May 2022. Was it 23? It wasn't last year, was it?
No, it wasn't last year.
2022, but were they at download?
They weren't at download last year.
Were they at download the year before?
I don't think they were.
No.
I don't think they've been at download since...
Pilot.
Yeah, probably.
Was it
Although, where was the one I was right at the front for?
that 2019 when they headlined the Avalanche?
Oh,
was
yeah.
that then?
That would have been 19, yeah.
It was, because that's when Smashing Pumpkins. You were watching Pumpkins.
Watch Pumpkins got a good spot for Shikari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a little digression to start with.
Yeah. Path to wander down. So we should probably start with news and kind of a roundup of, well, it's all a roundup, I suppose, really.
Yeah, we're doing a January roundup / review episode.
Yeah.
So because we've not reviewed any albums yet, we thought we'd lump everything into one and include kind of a roundup of what we've been up to, or not, as the case may be. And yeah, news, old and new for the month of January, even though it's actually February now.
Yeah.
But you know,
well, we're going to try and do this once a month, aren't we? And
yeah,
have a catch up.
Because we kind of got out of the habit a little bit of reviewing some albums last year because of a lot
everything
of events, gigs, festivals. So we thought if we can try and at least get one a month where we do a roundup of stuff, we can talk about some things we've enjoyed and all of that, and new releases and
everything else,
all that kind of stuff. So shall we start with the roundup of what we've been up to?
Yeah, go for it.
Gigs watched, zero.
Yeah. Gigs booked,
1 definite and 2 or 3 about to.
Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm trying to remember now what we've booked. We've booked Wednesday 13 as per last episode.
Yeah.
For November. Festivals booked or confirmed to attend.
Mangata.
Yes, we'll be at Mangata in Nottingham in July.
Really looking forward to that.
Yeah, go get tickets if you haven't already. It's going to be a good one.
Items of merch.
2.
All for you.
Yeah, you've not got any?
No.
I was going to not buy anything in January, no spend. Don't do dry Jan because, not that way inclined. So I was going to do no merch perch Jan.
Yeah.
And failed at the, first hurdle pretty much. 1 was a bargain. And I don't normally like to buy band t-shirts from online high street retailers, but Boohoo had a cheap Ghost t-shirt. So I thought, why not? Because I need another Ghost t-shirt. And you bought me, actually. So technically, I've only bought one.
You've only bought one.
Yeah. You bought me the Creeper long-sleeved t-shirt that I wanted from the tour merch, which had sold out by the time they got to Nottingham, and then they did a restock. They put the leftovers online and whatever, and they sold out, and then they did another one and got one. So I do like a long-sleeve t-shirt. You get a pattern on the sleeve as well as the front and back.
Sometimes you do, yeah.
All the ones I've got have.
I've had long sleeve stuff that's not.
Really? You've been diddled. I think that's it. It's been a
quiet month.
It's been a January.
Yeah.
January.
It seemed to last forever.
January. And as we record, it's Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it is actually, isn't it? Yeah, I forgot about that.
And the whole month's felt like Groundhog Day. Anywho, some news of things what have happened across the month of January. Are we starting with the big talking point, or are we doing a little bit?
Oh, let's build up to it.
Right. First up, which is exciting for us, is we have some literal local gigs to look forward to this year.
I know, it's weird. I can't remember the last time we had any decent gigs.
So we used to have a venue where we live, and it closed down over 10 years ago.
Well over
12 years ago. So we don't really get a lot of live music. We get a little bit here and there in pubs, but nothing of the sort that we really like.
Go to,
really.
Yeah.
So it's kind of underground kind of small venue bands, some of whom we've seen before and we're looking forward to seeing again.
Yeah.
So these are taking place at Risewell Brewery in Mansfield. And the first one coming up on the 17th of February is Swarms, Capulian, and We Are Sovereign. And then some others that have already been announced for later in the year. On the 16th of March is Master Charger, Cowerhounds, and Fakehead. And the 20th of July is Thresher Wolf, King Abyss, and another band that I can't remember, sorry.
I'm really looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah.
So we will be getting tickets for probably all of these, I'd imagine.
Yeah, there's a couple that I don't think we can do, or at least one that we definitely can't do in June. But yeah, there's about one a month being announced. So yeah, that's exciting that
we've got something we can go and watch, and it's just 10 minutes away.
Yeah, it's not going to be there in an hour. We've not got to faff about getting a bus and a taxi and a whatever else.
Well, we could still get a bus into town. And
well, yeah, but what I mean is, we love going to gigs in Nottingham, and it's not that far technically. But if you want to have a drink, it's difficult to get home because there are no buses anymore, or trains, because
they decide to stop them at 10.
Yes, there used to be them pre-COVID, and now they just never bothered reinstating them. So it's hotel or taxi to get home, or you have to drive. So this is exciting. So hoping they do well, and there'll be more, and we'll get a good little music scene going on local to us.
Next up, Ozzy said Sharon has kind of said he wants to perform his final shows in Birmingham, and he said there's basically going to be no more tour, but he wants to. I think Ozzy said he wanted to do a final show in Birmingham, and Sharon said there's going to be 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to sell out, isn't it, really?
Oh, yeah, it will sell out. And, I mean, I'm surprised he's still going to do those. I'll be amazed if they happen.
I don't think I personally want to go to them.
No, I'd sooner remember the times I've seen Ozzy when he's been really good.
Yeah, like last time. He was at Download, I think.
Yeah, spot on. Right. The time before, he was fucking dog shit.
Was that Sabbath?
No, Sabbath was 12, but he was bad then.
Yeah.
But he didn't he do his own stuff in
2017?
So yeah, somewhere around there.
That was all right.
No, that was the bad one.
Bad one? Have we seen him since?
Yeah.
Have we?
20... Oh, I'm going to have to look now. Turns out we were both kind of wrong.
Yeah, so it was 2018 when he was last at Download doing his solo stuff.
And we're really good.
And we haven't actually seen him since.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that memory, I think.
That's what I plan on doing. I think I've got no intention of trying to get tickets for something that's going to be absolutely heaving, and it's probably not going to be. It's just not going to be the same. I'd like to see him play Patient Number 9, but
yeah, the new album.
The new album was really good. Yeah,
and God knows how much tickets will be for it.
Oh, it'll be ridiculous.
I assume it's Villa Park. Has that been said, or have I dreamt that?
They've not actually said, but it'll be the place that they did the Commonwealth Games at. You'd imagine.
Oh, okay. I just thought I'd read Villa Park.
I can't think which one that is.
I don't know. Wait and see. Anyway, I think it's supposed to be this summer, isn't it?
I've no idea.
Okay. News, but not news in detail. And this was right back at the start of January, I think, but Korn announced some UK dates for the summer taking place across Bloodstock weekend, which is very annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, fucking rude.
Rude, and yeah. In particular, they're playing in Scarborough, which I think will be quite cool. I want to go to a gig in Scarborough, home of my childhood holidays. I just think it'd be cool with the sea in the background. But yeah, not happening.
That's probably not going to happen, because hopefully we'll be at Bloodstock.
Yeah, and then they're doing the Peace Hall in Halifax on the 9th of August and Gunnersbury Park and Playground on the 11th of August, the Sunday of Bloodstock. So
yeah, and then off to Germany. So it doesn't look like we're going to see Korn this year.
No, I think it's left a few people torn who were thinking of going to Bloodstock who've now changed their mind.
Yeah, and people might be coming a day later now, I think.
Possibly.
Because probably a lot of people might go to watch the Scarborough gig.
Yeah, I think support acts were quite good as well that were announced, and I can't remember what they were now, but...
Yeah, I think they were, and I can't remember either.
Anywho, I'm sure you know about it anyway. Old news.
Next announcement, Kerrang TV is to finish, because it's part of Channel 4.
Who knew?
I never knew that.
It disappeared a while ago, didn't it? Can you remember? Last year before, it suddenly went off air and got replaced with like the box or box hits or...
Yeah, and then came back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I mean, I'll be honest, there's not many channels for alternative music anyway.
No, Scuzz died. And
Scuzz died, yeah.
It was better, wasn't it? MTV Rocks or whatever that was doesn't exist.
Yeah, MTV hasn't been a good channel since about 1987.
I feel like it's one of the Now channels sometimes does a classic rock.
Yeah, they have phases, don't they? But it is kind of classic rock. There's nothing new.
The thing is with Kerrang, You know that they always play the same videos. They've been playing the same videos for the last 20, 30 years or
Yeah,
25
it's
years. And whatever,
you know it's going to be Slipknot, it's going to be Corn, there'll be Chop
Blink,
Suey on there.
Blink 182, Sum 41, Linkin Park. And you know, whatever kind of countdown or chart they're doing, it's all going
It's
to be the
always the
same.
fucking same videos, just in a different order.
But at the same time, it's sometimes good just to have on in the background when you can't think what to listen to, or you're just pottering around. And
Yeah.
on principle, I'm going to miss it for that. Really.
I don't think I will, because I kind of stopped watching it because it is the same stuff all the time.
You say that sometimes we do pop it on in the background, though, don't we? Not often, but
Yeah.
it's just the principle of it, isn't it? News just out in the last couple of days. You, Me at 6 are going to split up. Neither of us are particularly big fans of
No,
them,
I'll be
I would
honest, I couldn't
say.
give a shit.
But in terms of, they're quite a big band from that scene.
Yeah, they've been around 20 years,
A lot
haven't
of
they?
people are very sad about it. So, it is news. So we thought we'd mention it. And I think Slam Dunk's going to be their last UK festival, yes, last UK show.
That
Remember,
makes sense.
something
Yeah.
like that they've said. So yeah, another one bites the grass, the dust. Making it festival themed.
Surely dust.
Dust then. Depends on weather, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be dust.
Mud. Right. Now on to the biggest announcement, which kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, we weren't quite expecting it because we thought it'd be February.
Yeah, I thought February, March time.
Yeah.
Like early March it might have been. But we've got some more acts added to download. And I've kind of got mixed feelings about this.
Same as the first announcement, really.
So there are some that I'm really happy that are on there. So this isn't in any particular order, but the ones that I'm pleased to see: Enter Shikari,
Always.
Blackstone Cherry,
Yeah, want to see them again.
Mr. Bungle.
But yeah, I kind of thought they existed.
Yeah, that is a really kind of big name that they've sort of snuck in.
Yeah, I've not listened to them for donkeys, so I need to give them a re-listen and try and remember if I do even like them. I'll probably watch them, but yeah.
Royal Republic.
That will be good because we missed them at Bloodstock last year, so they're always good for a bop.
Another big name, Tom Morello.
Very excited to see him again.
Yeah. I'm pleased that Cemetery Sun are on there.
Yeah, we watched them a couple of years ago, didn't we?
Yeah. I'm actually pleased Wheatus are on there. I never saw Wheatus there. I know they played at the Town Mill, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they used to play there a lot, and I always missed them.
I forgot about that, speaking of our old venue.
Yeah. Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes. And I'm kind of glad he's on there, but we'll see later on.
It's one of those that I always like to watch him live, but I have seen him a lot of times.
Yeah.
So if I didn't get to see him...
If it clashed, you wouldn't be too disappointed. Code Orange.
Excited for them,
yeah. And the Hunter, I'm pleased about as well.
Did you actually watch them at Leeds with me? Last time we were at Leeds, Accidentally Drunk Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot.
I was watching, I'm sure it was the Hunter I was watching when I suddenly thought, shit, I'm seeing double and I've got to drive home in like 15 hours. I need to stop drinking now.
Within the 10?
Yeah.
Yes, I was with you.
And then I came to because I think I came to find you and said, I really need to eat something. And that's when you nearly died on a steak sandwich.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
You remember that bit?
Yeah.
I don't know where you were before. Maybe you were with me. Maybe
I think I was, yeah.
Maybe I just turned to you and said, we need food. But that's my previous memory of the Hunter.
So they're kind of my highlights. Have you got any others on there that you're pleased about?
I think you've pretty much mentioned everybody. I mean, the Struts, I might watch if there's nothing else happening. They're just kind of one of those bands that they don't offend me. They're there. I quite like them, but I wouldn't go out my way to watch them.
Yeah, they're one of the bands I'm not really bothered about. Of Mice and Men, not really fussed.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the big talking point is Busted. We've got to say it.
Well, actually, I think there's two.
Yeah.
So there's Busted, as you said, who are no idea why the fuck so many people are so happy that they're there.
They're there and they're headlining the Avalanche stage. And for me personally, there are so many better bands that should have that slot. But
yeah, it's a coveted spot.
Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe I'm more of a McFly girl. Who knows? But I've seen comments like people saying, "Oh, everyone's dead, please. Everyone will be there singing along." And I'm like, I don't even think
I fucking won't be.
I'd know a Busted song if you played it me. Whereas I think
I know one.
I think I know maybe 2 or 3 McFly songs.
Do you know what? Actually, I don't know if I do know.
But to be honest, they probably interchange in my brain anyway. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one it is. I know I had that Year 3000 song that was absolute dog shit. Was that Busted or was it McFly?
I don't know.
It was one of them anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't be watching that shit. The other thing that's annoying me is the Electric Callboy back.
That was my other thing I was going to say. It's interesting. Very rarely do bands come 2 years in a row, although Ice Nine
Unless it's
Kills.
Kindred.
No, Ice Nine Kills as well last year in the year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a theory about Skindred, which I may or may not tell you now.
No, tell me now.
I just feel like Corey Taylor is going to pull out because obviously he's pulled out of his US tour, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So it's, will he be feeling up to doing the European, UK dates, etc.? So I feel like he might pull out and Skindred will get his slot.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway, I said it here first.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, it's interesting as well that they're on second stage, aren't they? Which everyone was saying they should have been last year because so many people wanted to cram into Avalanche, but they specifically wanted to be in a tent because of their light show. But now suddenly that doesn't matter. So they're obviously getting paid a lot more to come back.
Yeah.
It's Sunday, so chances are I probably won't be asked to go and watch them, but I may or may not. We'll see.
Definitely won't be.
They're a weird one for me. I think I've said before, they're odd tracks that if I'm in the right mood, I can listen to.
I've got no time for them. They just don't do it for me.
Yeah, and day splits have been done as well, haven't they? So
yeah.
We'll probably talk about that in more detail when we move on to our download preview episodes, which will probably be in May, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, usually, well, obviously will be. I think that's it for the news.
Okay, let's move on then. Right, so first singles that we've kind of seen, listened to, heard.
Yeah, obviously a lot have been released. We've just picked out, I think it's about 5 or
6, yeah,
that we just thought we'd mention in particular.
Yeah, so first one, Bring Me the Horizon and Kool-Aid. And I really like this.
I wasn't sure at first, and it has grown on me a lot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting because it's evolving again.
Yeah, they've got heavier again.
Yeah, and I do really like it. And it'll be interesting to see what everybody's kind of thinking about them. I know their shows have been selling out.
Yeah.
But is that people expecting the older stuff and how are they going to react to the newer stuff?
Yeah, it is interesting. Obviously, the last few singles they've done as well have been definitely kind of lighter, kind of more poppy, experimental kind of things. And yeah, this is definitely going back, not the heaviest stuff they've done, but it's on the heavier side.
Yeah.
And I think one thing at first as well was I wasn't sure because I was like, I'm not a Kool-Aid person. You know what I mean? I'm too old for that. I don't know. But then it's not really a British thing, is it, Kool-Aid?
No, not overly.
We had Sunny D instead. Yeah, I really like it now. It's definitely an earworm. I can't remember when the album's coming out, but looking forward to hearing that when it is released. Next track we're going to talk about is Surya, Blood and Ashes. These are a band we were supposed to see at Derby Altfest, but they were unable to get due to flooding, unfortunately. Yeah. But I really like this.
Yeah, I do. It's fucking brutal.
It is brutal, but melodic at the same time. Loads of technical guitar work going on, and
it's really well produced as well.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's so many different layers going through it.
Yeah, this would be amazing on the Sophie stage.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like in a tent, dark.
Yeah.
Really good.
Did you get a chance to watch the video?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, that's really cool as well. Really, it's kind of just like the band playing and there's just like lots of overlaid red and black imagery going through it. I only saw it the once, so it's not a very detailed explanation, but it really suits the track and it's very good. Go watch it.
Okay, next one. Crying Corvid, the end. And I thought it was like a straight Nirvana intro on this.
That's what I made it. It's kind of punky, grungy, early Nirvana.
Yeah, cuts to punk. It sounded like a really, really heavy Ramones.
Yeah.
Kind of got that vibe from it. Yeah, and just kind of like almost sort of like off-key, disjointed vocals and stuff. And kind of disjointed guitars in places, but it just kind of works. It's like every from a technical point of view, everything that's in it shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah.
It's just, I love it.
I really liked it as well. We saw these at, I think it was the Metal to Masters semi last year. Yeah. Really enjoyed them there. That was the first time we'd ever come across them, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they're back in Metal to the Masters again this year. So
yeah, I hope they do well again.
Yeah. The other thing I noted as well is it's just nice to hear something a bit different because there's loads of awesome kind of underground bands coming through. But they tend to either be kind of thrash or metalcore, deathcore, etc., which is great, and I love all that stuff. But it is nice to just hear something different.
Completely different to everything else that's out there.
And that's the second track they've released this year. So I think they're planning on releasing an album sometime soon.
Next up, Mastiff. Their latest single, Serrated. It builds such an atmosphere.
Yeah.
from right from the first second. And yeah, everything just works so well, like the extreme vocals and piercing solos as well. And there's kind of like a heavy sludge sort of undertone through it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of this.
Yeah, it's pretty kind of standard in a good way, Mastiff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like all their other stuff is just an absolute extreme, intense onslaught of metal.
Yeah.
And they've got a couple of guests on the track as well. There's Harry from Burner doing some guest vocals on it, and also Dan from 13 doing the guitar solos.
Yeah.
So apparently he played with them when they played on the Avatar tour.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's that. No. Have you seen the video for this one as well?
No.
This is really good. Yeah, they basically turn up to play at like a social club, if you can imagine,
Yeah.
and play this. So definitely check that out. I really love that. It's just
I'll have a
it's a
look at
fun
that
video,
tonight,
and it's
yeah.
kind of a contrast to the track, but it really works. Next track is Indominus and their single War, which I believe is their first release for 7 years.
Yeah, what have they been doing?
I don't know.
Yeah, I like it. I really like this. Really good drumming, guitars, and nothing overpowers one thing.
Yeah.
It's all really well balanced, and combine that with those vocals, really stands out.
Yeah, it's just really good heaviness, really good chuggy riff through it, some raw vocals, your head bangings from the start.
It's what you want, yeah. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, you can't help but nod along to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hoping that they're going to be releasing some more as well.
Right, should we move on to the albums then?
Yes, and we've got 5 albums, I
think it is, yeah, a hell of a lot.
Really, there was 2 one week and 3 the following week.
Yeah, so we've had to do some binge listening.
Binge listening, binge note-taking, like doing homework all over again.
So our first album is the new album by previous guest, South of Salem, which is Death of the Party. And what kind of tracks sort of stand out for you on this?
To be honest, all of them. I struggled picking out some favourites. I have noted at least half of the album. I mean, first up, the opener, Vultures. I think it's just a perfect opener. It hits you hard straight away. Loads of big riffs and an anthemic chorus.
Yeah, it sets the tone for the album, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then straight into Static, which is heavy hitting, kind of 80s hard rock. Reminded me a bit of later Motley Crue. Another good sing-along.
That's interesting because I didn't get that from this track.
Okay.
I thought more Blackstone Cherry or Alter Bridge.
Oh, I suppose it could be all 3 combined.
I suppose it could be, yeah. Another of my favourites is Stitch the Wound.
Yeah, I've not made a note of that one, actually.
Really? Yeah, I just feel like it should be used in a TV show. It just kind of fits for a TV show, like an American show. It just so well.
Yeah, I can see that. Jet Black Eyes.
Yeah.
Another melodic earworm. Not that the others aren't, but...
Life Worth Dying For.
Yes.
It's a real anthem, this one. Love the vocals on it. And I'd say I think this has got the best guitars on the album. And it could be Slash playing this.
Yeah, definitely.
It's just that skilled, that well done.
And it's just really catchy and uplifting and just another good dose of fast hard rock.
Yeah.
I also made a note of Hellbound Heart, which is slightly different. It's slower. It's got some kind of gothy undertones. This one I really like. And also Bad Habits, which is just heavy, sleazy. It picks the pace back up again and you've got like sing-along.
That is the one I thought sounded like Crew.
Oh, did you? I think it sounded like Backyard Babies.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just got a sing-back chorus that'll work well live. And
yeah.
I mean, if I have to pick favourites, I think Static and A Life Worth Dying For off the top of my head.
I would say Static, Life Worth Dying For, and another track, Villain, really stands out. I think they saved the best for last for me. And I'm going to say, if this was an American band, everyone would be going nuts about it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are already.
No, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know
it's not. If this was American, everybody would say this is like literally everybody would say this is the best thing. They'd be headlining at all major festivals, and you know, there's that difficulty that they've always said about British bands trying to crack America, and like Bush managed it, but nobody really did that much.
Yeah,
these could do it easily.
I think so. Yeah,
and it still blows my mind. They're independent. And they've made this.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've funded it themselves. It's
mad,
it's insane,
Yeah. You'd think of the base of the first album that...
I mean, I don't think it's that they've not had deals. It's
it's like they said, didn't they?
Yeah, they said themselves, it's if the right deal comes along, fine, but they're not worried about that.
Yeah.
It's like they're doing okay.
And that's a good attitude to have, isn't it? They're
Yeah.
not going to sell themselves out, and they're just, if they
They're
can
going
do
to
it
make what
themselves.
they want to do.
Exactly. And good on them. But as they said when we chatted to Joey and Cody, it's like the first album, but turned up and everything bigger and better.
And it does sound it. It's
Definitely.
really well produced.
Yeah.
Really well produced. So what do you give it out of 10?
Out of 10, it's got a 9.
Same here.
Oh.
9. Absolutely love it, yeah.
I mean, I can't really think of a reason I didn't give it a 10, but
I didn't, because I never give anything a 10.
Same. Yeah, that's what I mean. So maybe deep down
but it's up there.
We believe it's a 10, but we're just saying 9. Next up then is Green Day's 14th studio album, Saviours, which comes 30 years since Dookie was released.
Yeah.
Make you feel old.
Yeah.
20 years since American Idiot.
Jeez.
I know. In my head, it was 20 years since Dookie, so.
Yeah.
Anywho, 15 tracks in 46 minutes, so standard little hunky Green Day tunes. I say that, obviously Jesus of Suburbia was about 10 minutes long, but you get the drift. Is there any particular standouts on this one?
One-Eyed Bastard, which is single.
Yes, I like that one. For me, though, it's Pink versus Frank Carter, if I had to describe it.
Yeah, I remember when we watched the video, I said to you it sounded like Frank Carter.
Vocally, it does. That na 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 na.
Yeah.
Sounds like Pink.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see that. I think it's an obvious single choice from what else is on the album. And it does actually sound like I'd expect it to sound.
The opening track for me, American Dream, I really like that one. I think it's a great opener, catchy. It's like an updated version of American Idiot.
Yeah, you see, I thought the first 3 tracks sounded like parodies of Green Day.
Oh.
Really, yeah, just didn't get on board.
Okay. Bobby Socks, that one's quite cute. It's a little bit Nirvana-y or a bit Weezer-y.
Okay.
It's got just like a nice, cute little ditty.
I mean, there's a couple I do like as well. Strange Days Are Here to Stay.
Yeah, I like that one.
I think that's one of the better tracks on the album. Feels like Green Day being Green Day. And Living in the 20s, I think it's probably the best track on the album.
Okay, I wasn't fussed on that one.
Okay. Yeah, it feels, it's more vitriolic. It just feels more real, like the rest of the album.
Yeah. I also like Dilemma. I thought that one's obviously a more personal song, but very catchy, and it's got kind of a classic Green Day chorus to it. And Fancy Sauce. I thought it was kind of a slow finish, but I liked it.
Okay.
And I like the name of it. Fancy Sauce.
So what do you think of it overall then?
I think it's the best thing that they've done since American Idiot.
Okay.
Yeah, the last couple of albums in particular haven't really done much for me. It seems more consistent overall. Like the previous albums that they've done, there's been odd tracks that I've liked, but not that many. Whereas this has got more that I do like. There's some standouts. They're obviously still maintaining their kind of political stance and getting that through in the songs. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay. I will be honest, I thought it was bland, bordering on tedious.
Oh.
Really don't like it. There's nothing, I mean, musically it's fine, like you'd expect it to be, but there's just nothing fulfilling about it. It just feels empty. But nothing just seems to click on it. Like I said, it just started irritating me after a bit. So, yeah.
Out of 10?
5.
Oh, 7.5.
Yeah. But, well, the fact that you gave it 7.5 shows it's not that good as well. I'm just a little bit maybe harsher than you. Right, next album up, it's Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, Dark Rainbow. Really, really great opener on this. Love Honey.
Yeah, that's one of my favourites. It's very similar to previous Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes.
Yeah. Feels a little bit lighter, a little bit poppier. But I do really like this.
Yeah, I think when I say similar to previous, I mean the more recent previous.
Yeah.
As opposed to Blossom.
It's about the only one I like.
I kind of know what you mean, in a way. But it's grown on me more, the more I've listened to it. I don't know how many times you've listened.
A few, about 3 or 4.
Yeah, like the first single, Man of the Hour, when that was released and I listened to it, I thought, this is different, obviously.
Yeah.
Which it is. Obviously more of a ballad-like. It's got those kind of quite quirky synths going on. And I wasn't sure about it, but that's grown on me as a song.
Is there any other kind of songs that stand out for you?
It's definitely the kind of faster, heavier in the context of the album ones, I guess. Yeah. Obviously not in the context of Frank Carter as a whole. American Spirit, that's got sleazy, dirgy And it's got a really cool chorus on that one, I thought. It reminds me of kind of an 80s noir type thing. Brambles, which is another single. I liked that one. That one reminded me of the End of Suffering kind of period. And it kind of builds up to the way it kind of builds as a song. I like that. Superstar, I quite like that one. Another of the heavier tracks, and again, more vibes of End of Suffering and a big chorus. And then Self Love, which I can't remember if that's the last track or not. But again, that's more older style. It's more bouncy. It picks the pace back up. And there's a couple of tracks, and which one is it? One reminded me of Arctic Monkeys. Can I Take You Home? You know when Arctic Monkeys did?
I'm glad you said that, yeah.
Okay, did you think that too or not?
Well, you'll find out in my kind of summary.
Yeah, I can't remember what the Monkeys album is, but the one where Alex Turner kind of got his 50s hair out and did that.
Oh, yeah.
The vocals on that. So yeah, overall it's kind of much more experimental. It's obviously got a lot slower, different to what we're overall used to. Seems less punky, but on the other hand, it's obviously you get to hear more of Frank's vocals. There's definitely more kind of pure singing going through, and you get to hear that better. So I can see why it's been a divisive one amongst the Frank Carter fan community.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't like this change of direction at all. They do what the fuck you want. It don't matter what I think. But the first track is fine, but I don't want a series of ballads. And it's like they've decided to make an album for the Leeds and Reading crowd and something that's more commercially viable.
That's interesting because the first time we saw Frank Carter live was at Leeds. Yeah. And it just released Blossom, hadn't it? Yeah.
But the thing I don't want is another album that you were saying about Monkeys is for it to be like The Editors or Arctic Monkeys clone, and that's what this is.
I think some of it is, but there's definitely more than one track that isn't.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's one track I like, and it's still not as good as other stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely grown on me more as I've listened to it, as I said to start with. Be interesting which he picks out of it to do live. I feel like on his own shows, which we're not going to because there isn't one nearby, I feel like there might be more of the slower ones incorporated, where I think for a festival set, he is just going to do the more upbeat stuff.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm kind of glad. Because I wouldn't want to go to it and it'd be a lot of this stuff because I'd probably walk out. I can't be arsed with this.
I mean, I gave it a 7.
I gave it 2.
Oh.
Which I think is probably the lowest I've ever given anything.
Lower than Bill Bailey.
No, that might have been the same. I think that was a 2 as well.
There's a couple of tracks that individually I would probably give an 8 to, but overall it's...
If it wasn't for the opening track, it'd get 0. But that's how much I dislike this album.
I think part of me feels like I like it, but not as a Frank Carter album.
Yeah.
And I know obviously people evolve and change their style and everything, and that's fine, but it's not what I wanted it to be, I don't think. Shall we move on?
Let's move on.
Next one then is Static X Project Regeneration Volume 2, following on from 2020's Volume 1. Yeah, I mean, it's Static X, isn't it? It is, but it isn't.
Yeah, it's not got Wayne, obviously, but I really like this.
Oh.
So that means you don't. Yeah, I mean, there are kind of like 4 or 5 standout tracks on this for me. So Zombie, I absolutely love.
That is one that I do like. Yeah, it's really catchy, bouncy. It's like old school Static X.
Yeah.
Hints of Rob Zombie, that kind of classic industrial disco.
Black Star, I also love, but I'm guessing you wouldn't, because I had to double check this track to make sure that it wasn't done with Jonathan Davis. It sounded just like Korn.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's not, but also love No Hope.
Yeah, I made a note that the intro reminds me of something, but I never got round to working out what that something was. Back on the Classic Gem reviews, aren't we?
Yeah.
It reminds me of a question mark.
Take Control, I think, is another amazing... So, I mean, the whole thing for me, I think as a Static X fan, I didn't know if it'd be a disaster. I remember liking the last album.
So did I, so I thought it might, be similar, a similar vein.
Yeah, I was genuinely worried it'd be a disaster, but it is actually everything I wanted. And I'm surprised you're not that big a fan of it, to be honest.
No, I just thought it was, literally wrote, it's an okay album, nothing really stands out. And after that track 2, it just feels like it's dragging. I
thought it flew by.
It's one of those where I had it on while I was working, but nothing kept standing out. Whereas with other albums, a song will get in my head, and I'll make a note and say, "Oh, I like that one," but it was just like, "Oh, have we gone on another track?" Oh, it's another one.
Yeah, the only negative and I've only got one negative about this album, is the bonus track of the cover of Terrible Lie. It's totally unnecessary.
Exactly what I put. Unnecessary and not a great cover.
It's not a great cover, no.
Why? There are certain bands that, are not that they're not coverable, but
they don't translate well.
They don't translate well, or you've got to do it well if you're going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they tried to do it in their style, but the trouble with Static X is it's an industrial kind of band.
Yeah.
So it's only going to sound similar to Nine Inch Nails, but not as good because it's not Nine Inch Nails.
Exactly.
You just feel it was unnecessary. They could have, I'd seen Room see him cover Alive by Pearl Jam because it'd be different.
Or even like when Dope covered You Spin Me Round.
Yeah, exactly.
That
completely different. Yeah. And that's the only negative, but everything else I absolutely love on this album. So what would you give it out of 10?
I gave it a 6, but having spoke about it, I think I'm going to revise that to a 5.
Wow.
Yeah, because
for the cover.
I think I was feeling generous and I gave it a 6, but having heard some of your scores, it's having a 5.
Charming. Well, this one for me is getting an 8.
Oh, get that on the spot.
It would have got higher if it wasn't for the unnecessary cover of Terrible Lie.
And why do things need a bonus track these days anyway?
I've no fucking idea.
Especially when in the world of streaming, like in the old days where you might get a CD that's got a bonus version, so you buy that rather than one without that, or it might have special cover and a bonus track when it's just there anyway.
Do you remember the one on? Is it In Utero? It's either In Utero or Nevermind. It's silence for about 30 minutes, and then from nowhere there's another track.
Yeah, well, that's the old hidden.
Yeah.
Or Marilyn Manson. Didn't you do that to 99 on Antichrist Superstar?
Yeah.
And then you forget, don't you?
And another one with that, back in the days when you used to burn CDs, and although technology was good, it somehow couldn't figure out how to order the tracks. So it made the album pretty unburnable.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
that's probably another episode on hidden tracks.
Hidden tracks, yeah.
On to the last album then.
Yeah. Right. Final album is the new album from Dripfed Empire, Revolutionist. And I'll be honest, I've been waiting a while to hear this.
Same.
And I'm not disappointed.
Same.
There's all of it is really standout.
Yeah.
And I love the way they mix things up.
I think I've pretty much wrote every track. It's only 8 tracks anyway, isn't it? I think I've wrote them all down.
I've just picked out 3 that kind of were just unbelievable for me. One was MK4.
Love that one anyway. That was a single, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we've been familiar with that one for a while. But
yeah, like Prodigy meets early Slipknot. So good.
Did I put that? Yeah, I put old Prodigy. It's like it's got the new metal kind of visceralness and then a little rave in the middle, which I'm not mad about.
Yeah. The Work of God, kind of Ministry-esque, I'd say.
I put vibes of Ministry.
Oh, did you? Oh, cool. Yeah. It's got kind of like Ministry sort of vocals and breakdowns in it that just... Yeah, absolutely love it.
Really early days of new metal coming through on that one.
Digital Drug is the other one I've kind of marked out because I love the guitar intro in this. And it also kind of reminds me a little bit of, the Korn sort of like narcissistic cannibal that they did with Skrillex.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that. And that's probably my favourite track.
Yeah, I really love the intro to that. That reminded me of some kind of Prodigy vibes in that. Chorus I thought was a little bit Rammstein-y. I love the way the vocals layer in that one. I like that they've got the system reset in the middle. It's just a nice instrumental, but it works. Arcane is my favourite track. They just released that as a single.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's just like a classic new metal for me. I love the vocal in that one. And when we saw them at Altfest, I remember that one in particular live.
Yeah.
As the first time I heard it, and it was awesome. So that's definitely my favourite. And then, Invaders. Just to pick the speed back up again.
It keeps going again, doesn't it?
I love the way that the system reset seamlessly blends into Arcane.
Yeah.
And it's that bit of a lull, and then, it kicks back in really fast and loads of awesome riffs going through that, and a kind of a 90s rave vibe as well.
And the energy in it is just insane.
Yeah. So, awesome debut. It's been worth waiting for. We chatted to them on the podcast.
We did.
Back in, I think it was July, and it was kind of in progress then, and they said that, that since they've been on New Blood at Bloodstart, they've been taking the time getting everything right before they release the album, and it's definitely it's shown that they've done that.
Yeah.
And it's been worth waiting for.
Yeah, and they said they were kind of getting close when we saw an Alt Fest.
Yeah.
When we were chatting
Yeah, I
to
think
them
it was
there.
pretty much planned for release then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So,
And I've only got one gripe about this. It's
yeah.
only 28 minutes.
I know that would be my gripe as well.
But other than that, yeah, it's loud, it's visceral. It's a great mix of musical styles.
Yeah.
And you can obviously feel that influence from bands like Prodigy, Ministry. And the thing is, I've heard a lot of bands do things like this, and it's felt like a kind of parody or a rip-off. This doesn't. It feels fresh. It feels new.
Yeah, genuinely what they do.
Yeah. And other than the runtime, this album is perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I've put similar notes for you in just summary, just love the way that they just mix the different styles, different samples. It's got heavy riffs, just what you wanted.
So what did you score it out of 10?
9.
I scored it 9.5.
Wow, you went over 9.
Went over 9.
I didn't know I was allowed to.
You didn't know you were allowed to.
You never give
Make your own
anything
mind up.
You never get anything more than a 9.
No, I think we have. I think we've given a 9.5 before, but I can't remember for what.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the only reason I didn't give it a 10 was, like, same as you said, it's only 28 minutes.
Yeah, that's the only issue. Other than that, I love every single bit of this.
Yeah. So we've ended on a high.
We have ended on a high.
So if we can recommend you anything from January, go and listen to the Drip Fed Empire album.
Well, there's 2 albums I think we both agreed were unbelievable.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and South to Say.
The South to Say.
2 takeaways. 2 former guests. Is there something in that? I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
So that therefore concludes our roundup of January. Hope you enjoyed listening to it. Do let us know what your January highlights were. Any albums that we've not mentioned that you would recommend us checking out. Any bands that you've seen this month that were awesome. Let us know. If you want to do that, you can find us on our socials. We're on Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever it is, and Threads at Ready to Mosh Cast. And we're on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Ready to Mosh. So please go give us a like, follow, share, subscribe, whatever the term is for the platform. Go do it, please. That would be lovely. And if you would like to give us a 5-star rating and a review on your preferred podcast platform, that would also be very lovely indeed. I think I've said everything I need to say. So thank you again for listening, and we'll be back soon with another episode. Make it stop, Moon.